earn money, save money and buy things. Living beyond the economic cycle is impossible. What trends are dictated by world markets and how does it affect consumers? Watch it in People and Economy. A low-cost set meal, business lunch and lunch aimed at couples in love. Daily, millions of people visit public catering establishments, leaving there a considerable amount of money. Thus, Europeans spend about 10% of their incomes on restaurants and residents of CIS countries, up to 15%. However, the leading position in this rating belongs to Americans. In total, they leave more than $500 billion for eating in cafes and other food service areas. The restaurant business all over the world has been remaining among the 5 most profitable economy branches for several years. Dressing fish, cutting fruits and sending these dishes to a buffet table in mountains within 2 hours. For chef Ivan Kolesnikov, summer is a rush season. Several years ago, he established a catering service organization, or in other words, a mobile restaurant. We help to organize outdoor kitchens at our customers' homes when, for example, for holding some event, they have a beautiful lawn but no kitchen. Currently, there are about 100 catering establishments in Kazakhstan and their number continues to grow. For comparison, these services were popular mainly among large companies which organized team-building events or corporate parties. However, in nowadays, another trend can be observed. Individuality and departure from standards are becoming a fashion. Because of that, individual persons can be more and more frequently seen among the customers. There are 3 categories: economy, standard and VIP class. The price for an economy class coffee break begins from 2,500 tenge per person. A cocktail dinner, for example, is more expensive as there will be more snacks and other menu. Banquets are the most expensive. Besides cooking, organizers often face the task of turning an office or mountain lawn into a real restaurant within several hours before the event. If we deal with a big order, we shall have to deliver cooking stoves, tables, plates and sometimes even dish cleaners. During such events, we work at full strength. Despite the high demand for outdoor events, traditional cafes and restaurants still remain the market leaders. Nowadays, there are more than 35 public catering establishments in Kazakhstan. Annually, this figure is being increased by 15%. For reference, 8 years ago, the number of restaurants in the country slightly exceeded 7,000. The competition and battling for customers make restaurant keepers and marketing experts think over all the details, from services and kitchen to prices and the interior. There are 4 key points in this issue: the number of customers, average price, the number of customers who then return to us, and marginality. And whatever nice cuisine and smart marketing plan we would have, serious problems with servicing will result in a low number of regular customers. Because of that, servicing is a very important point in this issue. People of Kazakhstan pay hundreds of millions of dollars for outdoor lunches and dinners. Mid-segment catering establishments account for the major part of this sum. The epoch of restaurants, as they were understood by people about 10 years ago, is gradually becoming the thing of the past. Cafes, pubs and bars are now becoming the most popular. From the entire list of mid-class catering establishments, experts have determined coffee houses as the most popular. Despite the comparatively short period of functioning in Kazakhstan, they have taken a special place in lives of local people. Statistically, 1/4 of the country's population regularly visits coffee houses. An average bill there does not exceed $15 per person. And according to experts, only one usual establishment of this type sells more than 5,000 cups of coffee during 1 month. Coffee houses are available for meetings between business partners and friends. There, people can enjoy a cup of coffee and have some meals. According to the statistics, about 70% of business agreements are concluded during business talks in such comfortable conditions. Psychologists link the trend towards business talks in coffee houses with a relaxing atmosphere. There, each partner feels more at ease than if the meeting would take place in somebody's office. In the meantime, the popularity of so-called takeaway services or take-out food in Kazakhstan is also growing. This segment is now regarded as the most mobile and fast-growing. Currently, its annual growth rate reaches 25%. People in Kazakhstan spend up to $200 million annually on street food and often prefer such snacks to cafes.
Это более бюджетный вариант питания.
It is a cheaper type of food and it is becoming more in demand on the eve of a crisis. At the same time, we should not confuse street food and fast food. Fast food mainly consists of various burgers. Street food means restaurant-quality meals at a reasonable price.
На улице по умеренной цене.
Meanwhile, experts note the growing number of new catering establishments with a particular profile. Among the examples can be Ukrainian, Russian, Georgian and Chinese cuisine restaurants. In Kazakhstan, people regard institutions as a way to diversify their menus rather than places of regular food consumption. The average bill in Kazakhstani cafes and restaurants makes up from $10 to $45 per person. A dinner in premium class restaurants may cost more than $100. Europe is traditionally considered the birthplace of jazz. For instance, Italian pasta and pizza are rated among the most popular dishes in the world cuisine. The UK has also made its contribution due to various meat delicacies, while France, with its sophisticated taste, presented the world salads and soups. In many European countries, for restaurant business development, so-called street retail corridors are being created. These are streets where restaurants stand one after another. The main feature of all such institutions is waiters whose profession is considered prestigious. In order to serve customers, one should know all the details of table setting and have a proper professional education. Because of that, students working in European cafes are uncommon. In most cases, there are people aged 30 and older.
Они понимают, что сервис.
They understand that service is a care but not trade. It is taking care about customers and serving them food. A waiter should make sure that his customers sit comfortably, and if they have a laptop, he should give him a password for using Wi-Fi. He should be able to handle the situation and never wait until customer call him themselves. And there are many more different details established in their cultural pattern.
У них просто зашито в культурном коде.
European restaurants are more looking to tourists because for local residents, eating outside their houses is quite expensive. For example, a dinner without beverages in many German cafes can cost almost 100 euros. Meals in mid-class catering establishments are cheaper. Their average price is 20 euros. It is also noteworthy that in Germany it is not customary to visit restaurants without leaving tips, which usually make up from 5 to 15% of the bill. Prices in British restaurants are also quite high and vary from 10 to 70 pounds depending on the establishment class.
В Великобритании сильно развита пабная, вот эта культура. То есть люди.
Pub culture in the UK is very developed. Pubs usually suggest to their customers simple meals and snacks. An average citizen of the UK visits such restaurants approximately once a week.
Поход в ресторан рассматривает как в принципе какой, допустим, субботу, семейный выход.
In Europe, more than 10 million people are employed in the food industry and catering business. This economy branch accounts for 75% of all workplaces in the service sector. In some countries of the region, such as Belgium and Latvia, this figure reaches 90%. The diversity of dishes in the Asian region puts the cuisine of Korea, Japan and China among the most popular in the world. Only in China, the number of cafes and restaurants now exceeds 2.5 million. Annually, they bring to the state budget more than $500 billion. Family restaurants and street food services are especially in demand among customers and investors.
У них культура уличного питания, она развита.
They have the most developed street food culture in the world. In the streets of large Chinese cities, people always eat something, and there is always a possibility of buying some food.
Постоянно, есть возможность что-то на улице приобрести.
In China, like in other countries of the Asian region, people are known as real patriots of their national cuisine. Because of that, European restaurants, for instance, are a rarity.
Китай.
Eating in Chinese restaurants is cheaper than cooking at home, buying food products in stock and so on. In addition, not all the people can do it properly. The cost of a good dinner in Korea does not exceed $5 per person. The price of more modest meals can be as low as $3. As a result, visiting snack bars or restaurants has become an integral part of the life of the Koreans. Along with that, public catering establishments are traditionally considered the places of holding business talks, meetings and banquets. Japan is the leader in number of restaurants and their visitors. Only in Tokyo, there are more than 150,000 of different cafes and snack bars. To attract more customers, Japanese restaurant keepers started to depart from traditional styles and interiors. For example, one of the beloved places for local residents has become the network of restaurants made in the style of the fairy tale Alice in Wonderland. Instead of traditional tables, the furniture there is made of family cups. The special lighting creates a romantic atmosphere, and waitresses have blue dresses resembling those worn by Alice. Every day, 1/3 of the US population visits restaurants. Their spendings is the highest in the world, and food delivery is considered the most popular service. It is mainly explained by a lack of time. Statistically, almost 30% of US residents do not know how to cook at all, and 25% do not like to do that. The Americans have a very fast pace of life, and unlike people in Europe, they eat while doing something else. Most of all, the Americans consume pizza, hamburgers and Asian dishes, in particular Chinese and Japanese. The cost of an ordinary dinner there does not exceed $10. At the same time, there are quite a lot of gastronomic restaurants which employ famous cooks and professional waiters. The average bill there begins from $100. Small family cafes are popular as well. Many of them have a style of some national cuisine. The average bill without beverages there makes up approximately $10 to $15. The appearance of highly specialized establishments designed for vegetarians and raw food eaters has become the latest trend in the US restaurant market. Fitness centers, the promotion of healthy lifestyle and high demand for natural food have furthered opening of healthy food restaurants. Experts calculated that shifting to a healthy and balanced diet would be almost 3 times as expensive as a traditional one. Nevertheless, the majority of customers are not frightened by prices. On the contrary, their number throughout the world continues growing. Healthy restaurants suggest to their customers only dishes of fresh food products free of chemicals and proper content of proteins and carbohydrates. In fact, each such establishment offers home delivery services, and their nutritionists are always ready to compose an individual diet for each customer. The majority of followers of healthy diets, more than 80%, live in Asian countries. Europe, where 40% of people give preference to organic food, is in the second position. The American region, with more than 10% of such people, closes the top 3. In order to save our money on visiting restaurants, we are recommended to choose seasonal dishes. In winter, for example, fruit cocktails and vegetables are usually more expensive. During lunchtime, many catering establishments offer so-called set meals, which are much cheaper than individual orders. I would recommend you to avoid dishes you don't know and order food of local producers. A wedding party will be cheaper in winter season, and a birthday party on working days. Promotion campaigns and discounts are typical for new cafes and restaurants. Some establishments offer their regular customers various card-based discounts. Those who prefer restaurant food and try to save their time can use food delivery services. Statistically, 60% of food delivery service users are men aged between 25 and 35. Instead of pizza and sushi, popular some times ago, customers now give preference to fish and vegetables. The world's biggest restaurant is located in Syria. Its area is equal to 7 football fields. The establishment is capable of serving up to 6,500 customers at a time. Besides traditional food, the menu includes dishes of other nations. A good dinner costs there $15 to $20.